Good morning to everybody right now. Happy to have you and happy to having me. Um, Unfortunately, there are not so many attendances today. Maybe we get some more later. Anyway, we will start. I totally agree, see that we have summertime, and due to summertime, maybe some people tried to attend but simply forgotten it or are still in vacation. Let's start with the presentation talk. Okay. So today we mainly want to discuss the abilities of the EyeVision software related to integration of new tools or to communicate with other processes, one of the major tasks for all machine vision applications. And so that the main title, Smart Extensions with EyeVision Plugin and Communication Interfaces. Yes. As far I assume that everybody who attends today or will have a look to this recording knows that EyeVision is ready-to-use software, which means it is intended that with no programming one can solve tasks. I have a running EyeVision in the background, and I can open it for a second simply to show everybody how it looks like. So we have normally here our programming tools, the programming editor, and of course you can have multiple displays for the cameras. The main task for everything is of the EyeVision software is to solve vision applications. To solve the vision applications, we have a wide tool set in all kind of tasks for 1D, 2D, 3D, thermal, hyperspectral imaging, as well as we have AI and robot vision tools. But of course, there is always one tool which is missing. And to allow our customers to add these tools, we have different ways. Oh, we have one request here. I just oversaw it. And to allow our customers to add their own tools, or either because they have specialty or whatever, we organize the EyeVision software so that one can easily add the tools to the software. So that's what I wanted to show. All the EyeVision tools which you can see, which are available after installation, are called plugins. So if you do your own plugin, you will find it either if you use our SDK, you have the option to say to which category the tool belongs to, or if you don't give it to a category, you have it as a specialized solution tool where you can find then later your tool. Normally, as I just resumed, you can do your solutions with EyeVision simply by drag and drop. We will have a look later to that. And in case you need some specialized tools, or maybe you have your own library which you want to use for your solution, in these cases, you simply have the option to add your tool to the toolbox based on our SDK. The big advantage is you have the complete infrastructure of the EyeVision software, though you don't have to think about how to grab images or how to handle the I/O, how to do the communication, which is another part of the today's webinar, and all these work packages are still available. And additionally, you have the tool which you made. If you want to use C++, you can use it. You can, or you have to use C++ if it should be a normal tool from the EyeVision software like this one. Or of course, we have, maybe you heard it before, else I will let you know. We have two script languages in the EyeVision software. One is Visual Basic, and since 4.5, we have the Python tool in EyeVision, which allows you to also program all kind of applications in Python. With both script interpreters, you have full access to all the libraries and of course to all the image memories and everything. Though you can also solve tasks with these script languages. Finally, if it should be fast or if you want to have it integrated as our tools, you have to use the SDK to make your own solution. The modular architecture of the software allows you easily to add these tools. I will have some additional quotes in the next slides. So the only knowledge you need if you want to make your own tools is that you are able to program in C++, because our main programming language in the background is C++. But it should be very easy, because if you download our SDKs for the different tasks, you simply can use these pre-made example tools and simply add or change the code inside of these tools to add your library or your code which you want to perform. So the SDK is a good starting point. Even if you are not very skilled with C++, you simply can use this and start from there. So it's not simply by scratch, by an empty sheet of programming editor. You have everything, you can compile it, see how it works, and it's not really difficult. As I told you, if you can either add your comment to a category which we already made, or you simply doesn't categorize it, and then you get your tools as a specialized tool. And if you don't generate a special icon, you get this plugin icon, which is the default icon, so that you immediately can test your code, and maybe later you can change it to a real icon which fits to your task. As you can see on the right side, it's more like a puzzle. You have all these different libraries which we have in the background. So we have the EVT libraries, but we also support libraries like OpenCV, or if you have Ulysses or Halcyon or whatever, you could use any of these libraries and make your tool for the EyeVision software. In most cases, you can use our internal libraries to do it, or you program your tool completely by yourself, so you don't need any library. It's also an option. Maybe it's a little bit more complex because you have to program everything, but you have the option to do it. So what kind of plugins do we have? Of course, we have the tool plugin. This is what we showed here. These are all the tools here. And of course, we have these EVHD plugins. EVHD means EyeVision Virtual Hardware Device. That means we abstracted all machine vision hardware to standard instruction set, so that it can be easily integrated into the software. So if you use, if you go to the list of supported hardware, in the EyeVision software, and you look to this list, you see, for example, if you go to the VIC, it's called video input channel. This means all kind of video information, image information, let's name it image information. And here you can select the different hardware, different implemented hardware. So if you find your camera which you want to use in the list anyway, you don't have to do anything. But of course, there are more cameras out there in the wild than we have already implemented. Anyway, we still implement more and more hardware capture tools or I/O tools. Then you are not dependent on us, and you have to wait until we done it. You can use our EVHD abstraction layer, and this layer comes always with an SDK, as the same way as the tool. That means you have a predefined channel, for example, for image capturing, where you simply have to add the tools from the camera manufacturer for image capture to control the parameters and so on, to add this special hardware as a new image hardware for the EyeVision software. So the idea behind of this, it is first of all that it's easy for every hardware manufacturer, but also for everybody who want to use specialized hardware, maybe in hardware which you made by yourself, to integrate it in the EyeVision software and use the software, all the tool set of software to operate on these images. The same abstraction layer is available for all kind of I/O. That means direct PLC I/Os, like plug-in boards with I/O lines, or maybe sometimes also I/O boards for connected over USB, RS-232, or Ethernet, but which deliver a direct I/O line to the software. If you use this plugin and you are in this and you start the software, then you have all the options. For example, you can see the I/O lines which you have added right now directly in the menu. You can access all these I/O lines based on the comment set of the comment set, which is available to control the I/O, read an input line, set an output line. So you simply do the implementation based on the SDK, and immediately your I/O is available. And of course, finally, the PLC I/O, of course, if you have specialized hardware, maybe there's a specialized I/O like in many smart cameras, but more and more, I think everybody knows this, I/O is dedicated over a network protocol. So we have also added a lot of network protocols, which we discuss later. And if you have any specialized network protocol which is not implemented, you have this EVHD NET plugin. It's also an SDK, which allows you to add any kind of I/O system to the EyeVision software. So if you download our tools, our SDK sets, you are able to extend the functionality of the EyeVision software in any kind, either in the tool direction, so you can make your tools, or in the hardware direction, if you want to add some specialized hardware for whatever it is, you can use this. Especially also if you don't use our robot communication interface, you could also use the NET plugin to communicate with any specialized robot. So the implementation of all these kind of hardware is dedicated to this SDK. As you can see, as I just mentioned, of course, you have to program in C++. You use the existing SDK. We have a very good description, a lot of examples. So mainly, you have to download the toolset, the SDK, and a compiling tool. Uh, there are different available. So on Windows systems, normally most people use Microsoft Visual Code to do the compiling. We have a complete description how to install Visual Code and also the libraries so that you easily can start creating your own tool or your own image capture tool. We have the same thing available for Linux on x86 systems or on ARM systems. Um, the EyeVision software runs, of course, on all these platforms. That means if you create a tool, of course, you can say you can decide because you only work with Windows systems that you develop the tool for the Windows platform. If you want, but if you want to use it on any of the other platforms, you can download the associated toolset for Linux on x86 or ARM for the different ARM platforms so that you can enable your tools also on these other platforms. Therefore, you simply download our SDKs with the description and you add your code. If you created it for Windows, it's very easy to port it to Linux on x86 or ARM because we designed our SDK that if it's programmed on one of these platforms, easily can be switched to the other platforms. Of course, we need it also because we distribute our software directly for all these platforms, and therefore we have to make it always on all these platforms available. Finally, if you created some of these special plugins, the advantage is it's your own tool, so nobody can copy it. And of course, we have also a copy protection, which enables you to protect complete EyeVision programs, including your tool, but also the drag and drop solution, so that you can sell it to customers without the fear that the customer can simply copy it. Finally, at the end, you have a full integration of your tool, like maybe the gear tooth inspection tool or the sealant tool, which looks like all these other tools, but are specialized tools and belongs either to you or, of course, if we start programming something, you will find most of the tools first in the special selection until we finalized it and we move it to the right section in the EyeVision software. Here, a short look to the software. So we have also this GUI Designer. If your tool needs some special parameters, there is a designer that enables you to generate the fitting menus. That means if you, for example, open up whatever tool, you have this control menu. And to generate this control menu, you get also the parameter editor, which allows you to generate the fitting GUI for your tool set. So with all these SDKs, you are ready to integrate your either specialized tool to solve whatever task you have or your specialized hardware. And the next step is, or the second part, of course, always how to connect to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world are, as I just mentioned before, mainly a kind of protocols. Of course, there are some applications, mostly with smart cameras, where the PLC I/O is directly connected to the camera because it's a simple solution. In that case, normally you don't need a specialized protocol, but of course, it's the EyeVision software you have also in the smart camera because it's the same software, all the protocols which we discuss later. And for all the others, of course, we have these protocols available, starting with the image capture tool set, with the image capture communication tools to get the image data to the either embedded system or the PC system. And of course, for some special tools, we have also these controllers which enable to do fast industrial applications like in the beverage industry to control the ejection of the cans or bottles or whatever, even with high speed up to 40 or 50 parts per second. 40 parts is in the beverage industry. If you go to some other industries, you get some faster applications. Therefore, we have these specialized tools right now. Maybe you have your own controller. Then you have the option with either the EVHD NET. Mainly, it's the right way to add that controller to the EyeVision software. In our case, the flying trigger controller from us is also connected via EVHD NET to enable this high-speed triggering and ejection and tracking of parts. Here, a short overview of all the available protocols. Here you see, of course, we have OPC or MQTT, either for the HMI or SCADA interface. We have, of course, Modbus, Profinet, and Profibus, and EtherCAT to go directly to a PLC. With Profinet, of course, it's dedicated to Siemens. Modbus works with a wide range of PLCs from Rockwell to whatever. And of course, we have some specialized toolsets for the RS-232 to communicate to these components. And to handle all the remote control of the EyeVision software, we have the Pcon LAN, which enables you to fully control each EyeVision system over the network. Each EyeVision system means, in this case, for example, a smart camera like here, or the eye sorter like this one. This system here is a smart camera. This one is an embedded system. Finally, it's a smart camera. It's a camera, a light, and a controller inside. And it's connected to the network. And via the Pcon LAN, you are able to simply control and program this system. Like you can control a smart camera. We support different manufacturers. I think you already have an overview or not, have a look to our webpage to see all the smart camera manufacturers which we support. The interesting thing is you can program and control the smart cameras. And of course, you can also use Profinet on smart camera to connect to a PLC. If you have finally made a simple solution with the smart camera, you could use the IO Link interface to connect to an IO Link IO system and use the smart camera as a simple sensor. So that's why we added now in the next release IO Link as the specialized simple protocol to also add it to the communication part, especially for very simple system, which simply give a good bad information, and you need one standard cable to do that. Of course, what we have to think about or talk about is how to connect the cameras. This is, of course, also an IO system. And it's a specialized I/O system which is already implemented. This is GeniCam and CoExpress. GeniCam is based on Ethernet, and so we also support, beside of the list which I showed you before, beside of this list here, we with the native drivers which use EVHD to access the native drivers of the manufacturer. We have our own GeniCam and GenTL interface, which allows you, if you use this one, to directly use all Geek Vision compliant cameras directly without the native driver of the manufacturer. Independently of this, we support most native drivers, but the GeniCam enables you simply to connect any new camera, which is also not in the list, to use it with the EyeVision software, beside of all the other protocols to communicate later the result of the evaluation, or maybe also the direct communication to the robot if you have to do a robot vision task. Beside of this, we have our iWeb interface. The iWeb interface is included web server system, which is immediately available if you generate an EyeVision software. That means if you use EyeVision software, that means if you make a tool and make a solution with your tool and you have the EyeVision software, the infrastructure allows you also immediately to control this tool over the web interface with the web server of the EyeVision software. So this is a infrastructure which is ready to be used if you use the SDKs to add your tool to the EyeVision software. Or, of course, if you do it with the EyeVision toolset, you have it, of course, also available. Here a short overview about these protocols. I think most of them we already have discussed. And I really recommend simply you should download the EyeVision software and test it. If you have a Profibus or Profinet system, or if you have a Siemens PLC, you simply can select, even with the demo version, you simply can select Profinet protocol, you enable it, and you can communicate directly over Profinet with the Siemens PLC. If you have a Beckhoff system, you can connect with Beckhoff. Or, of course, if you have Rockwell or some other PLC communications, PLC manufacturers, you simply can communicate with these manufacturers. Of course, as you can see here, so we can go through all these communication protocols. We have implemented them ready for use. You don't have to do anything. You simply can use it directly right away. And more, we have the complete OPC implementation, but we are also UMATI member, so we have also the specialized profiles for the vision systems available, so that you can use it for that. And as I just mentioned, of course, we have the EVT protocols available for the web server, for parameter access of the EyeVision software, especially if you run the EyeVision software maybe in the background, and you have in the as a main application your machine interface. You simply control the EyeVision software over PIC on LAN and control the parameters and the images to your main application. As I just mentioned, for the next release, we have integrated IO Link, and we had some additional nice tools in our VB and Python integration for the TCP, IP, and UDP, even to make communication, for example, to robots much easier if you have a specialized robot, which is not part of our robot vision support. I highly recommend to have a look at the Python integration which we have right now. To come to a conclusion, of course, the webinar is a little bit short today. I see it, but I think it's really easy for you to download it. Here I have a short example for an MQTT communication with the MQTT toolset. I recommend to download all our examples or to go to our wiki and download there the example files. In this case, I simply opened the COM examples, which you can download and install. How to install it? There is a video in our Academy, and there you find a lot of examples for example, for a Keyence PLC, how to do it, or how to control a KUKA robot. And here I selected the MQTT as an example. But you see here, there are a lot of examples for the communication, which you simply can open, like this one here. And then you can try it by yourself how to communicate with an MQTT server. In this case, it was necessary to have an MQTT server. I highly recommend, if you doesn't have experience with our software, in the project files, in this case, the COM project files, and in this case, the MQTT. So you have here everything what you need to run the demo by yourself and see how it runs on your PC. Of course, you need a communication MQTT server. And if you go to the demo project example and to the documentation, you will find always a documentation, for example, here, where to get a MQTT server, how to set it up. In this case, the Mosquito MQTT, you can install it on your PC, how to do it. And after you installed and run it, install and started it, you directly can test the communication with an over MQTT and some others. So if you don't have one of the communication partners like a KUKA robot or whatever, we have always an example how to test it by yourself. Yes, that as I think you got a rough overview about all the communication tools and how to make the plugins. Of course, we could go deeper into how to program a plugin, but I think it makes not big sense to edit some source code. Therefore, I highly recommend you can freely download the SDK, install the SDK on your PC, follow up the documentation. Maybe the first step would be good if you register at our wiki. There you will find the complete description of how to install it. And after the installation, I recommend to compile one of the demo tools. If you want to make a new tool, install it into the EyeVision software, and then you can see how it works, and you can start to modify it to your needs. This is the way I really recommend to get the first steps running. The same is if you want to test a new image capture channel for a specialized hardware. We of course have the demo for the webcam as a source code. So you simply can see how you can control, how to add the different functionalities from the webcam. So if you have a similar or another hardware, it has similar tools. Of course, there must be a function which enables you to grab an image, get the image data, or to get the information if the image is ready, if the camera is ready, how to set the parameters, and you simply fill out the different functions which are there and which you can directly compare with the normal webcam, and then you are really fast to make your own hardware um, uh, hardware capture tool. Yes. So as you see, I went through all my slides. I showed you here. Maybe this is a good first step if you want to work or test the communication tools. Of course, if you have a Siemens PLC or another PLC, try it with Modbus or with EtherCAT or Profinet. But if you doesn't have and you simply want to see how to communicate with an external system, I recommend MQTT, for example, or you use a TCP/IP or RS232 to do a test with one of the components you have available to get an idea how it works and to modify the existing SDK examples to your needs. So finally, that's what I wanted to tell you today. I hope it was somewhat interesting for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm here. Or to write me a mail after the webinar or call me. Of course, you're always welcome to call me and ask me what you are interested in. Yes, I see there was a request. Blah, blah, blah. Oh no, it's the old one, which was already one new message. You may have mentioned it earlier, but I wanted to make sure EVT SDKs, where can I find them? The EVT SDKs are available from our download link, by the download link. So simply write us a short message, a short mail, and we send you the download link for the SDKs. Any more questions? Good. In this case, I think thank you very much. And I hope we will see us soon again. And yes, have a nice day. Bye-bye.